On the Meade County candidates. So I got this Meade County paper, and then it's got all the candidates listed here. All right. And I just want to kind of do just a quick overview on it. Okay, so I live in Meade County. These would be the candidates that I'll be voting for, and there are some competitive races, Democrat versus Republican. A lot of times, since Kentucky was traditionally a Democratic state, the only way you could have any sort of say-so in the county government is if you're a registered Democrat. So that's where the the county elections were actually decided. Since if you had 80%, say like Clay County, 80% of Clay County is Republican. So when it comes to the general election, it's irrelevant. Okay, the Republicans are most likely going to win. I don't know the demographics for Meade County. So for Clay County, the primary election would be decided, or the entire election would be decided in the primary. Because the Democrats have basically a snowball's chance in hell of winning in Clay County. So I don't know the demographics of Meade County. I would assume it's probably about, in general, Kentucky it's 2-to-1 Democrats and Republicans. So there's 2/3 of the people are Democrats, whereas one of them are Republicans. But the Republicans, they tend to stick together, and the Democrats kind of flip-flop back and forth. So you got some liberal Democrats, but then you got a lot of conservative Democrats as well. Okay, so the Meade County Messenger. I'm listing all these candidates so far here. They have all the local candidates, and I'm going to read all the candidates just to document them, put them all out there. But one thing that I noticed is that they have, even though they have all the county candidates, they don't have some of the larger candidates, okay? They don't have the judges races. They don't have the state representative races. And some of your larger, statewide races. Instead, it's just all about Meade County. And that's okay. Meade County is great. It's wonderful, but it's not all just about Meade County, because actually there's a lot of people that aren't running for these positions. So I'll explain a little later. So, okay. So right from the bat, you have the county attorney, Jessica Brown Roberts, who's a Democrat. So Jessica Brown Roberts, she's going to win, right? She's already won the county attorney's race. She's running unopposed. So that's your county attorney for, I think there's they're 4-year positions. So for the next 4 years, Jessica Brown Roberts is going to be the county attorney for Meade County. Okay. Now the county judge executive, you got Gerry, Lynn, who's the Republican, then you got Randy L. Banks. Okay, so you got Gerry, Lynn, and Randy L. Banks, and that's a big race because that's the executive branch for the county. So whenever Frankfurt gives any money to Meade County, it goes through Gerry Lynn's office, or it goes through the county judge's office. Gerry Lynn is the incumbent. Randy L. Banks is challenging Gerry Lynn. It's much harder for a person to kick out an incumbent. So there's one competitive race, right? So Gerry Lynn versus Randy L. Banks. In general, I'm against the incumbent, and I'm more Democratic than Republican. So I'm already leaning towards Randy L. Banks. Okay, so Michelle Thompson versus Susan Masterson. Again, the same deal. County clerk race, Republican, Democrat. Don't know, any difference between the two, except for, in general, I like, Democrats more than Republicans. So Susan Masterson would have my vote there. Sheriff, you got William Butch Kerrick, and then Stan Heslep. So William Butch Kerrick and Stan Heslep. Those are the sheriff right there, right? Republican, Democrat, jailer J.J. Scarborough and Troy Seelye. Now I actually pulled up something about Troy Seelye. But J.J. Scarborough is a Republican who is challenging Troy Seelye. So this race, I don't have, my gut feeling is go with the Democrat, but he's the incumbent. So I'm kind of, torn between these two folks. So there's Meade County Messenger actually asked Troy Seelye some tough questions in 2007, and they really are tough questions. And in a way, it's a prison plantation complex, right? You can't have slavery, but unless you accuse someone of a crime, then you get the chain gangs, and then you got slavery, right? De facto slavery. That's how the private prison system industry works, and we're spending more money in Kentucky on private prison industries than we are on education. They're taking money and cutting money on education and the social services that we need, and they're putting more money into these prisons. And the entire concept of what a prison should be, it's not even, like the Mayberry, right? You don't have, Aunt B baking you a home, made meal and making you a cake and making sure that you're comfortable and shit. They treat you like an animal. They treat you like a dog. They treat you like shit. And that's supposed to help you. That's supposed to make you better, right? No, that's so fucked up. That should be the last. We should exhaust all, you know, love options until, you know, it's clearly not going to help. But that's the only way that anybody could ever get out of the system is love and, you know, kindness. There's actually a tribe in Africa, whenever somebody does a bad deed to somebody else, the entire village surrounds that person and just tells them how good they are and how wonderful they are and everything that they've done, you know, good for the community, and how, you know, people want to embrace them. So it's sort of to remind them that they're good people. We all have a bad wolf and a good wolf, right? So we just got to feed that good wolf. And how are we going to feed that good wolf when we have a sort of type of a totalitarian fascism that you have to combat? When you look at Norway, their prison systems look like university with plush greens and you know, just it's just a nice area. It's like almost like they could run away if they wanted to, but they don't run away because they like it there. And the idea is, in order for people to change, you treat them like people, and then they'll you know, want to reintegrate in society. But the way we do is we treat them like animals for years, and then when they get out, you know, that they're supposed to be fucking fixed. We're supposed to think that they're going to make it, get on up, and what, become a great fucking president or something. Like, no, it's the idea of the system is to fucking destroy you. It's slave system. It's, you know, farm mentality. It's the state has a monopoly of violence. And yeah, so in the very beginning they asked, how come inmates no longer pick up the trash along our roads, right? So some people say, well, yeah, fuck them people in the jail, let's get them to fucking, you know, pick up our shit. Well, are they in jail for some non-violent dumb fucking reason? Is it just some political fucking bullshit while they're sitting in jail? Now you're going to enslave them? If they're violent, yeah, okay, maybe. You know, that's if they're violent, they rape, they're pedophiles, they murder, they do, you know, some heinous crime where they, you know, just some big fucking thing, a felony thing, not just saying felony, but a real fucking felony. That's what our prisons are for. For the rest of the people, I think we're doing too much. But okay, so it's, how come they no longer pick up the trash on the roads? And they say that the inmates are supervised by the Meade County Solid Waste and Recycle. So the solid waste and recycle, so the trash people are the ones that are supervising them, and then the state money for litter abatement, which is what picking up trash is, go to the 109 board. Each working day, Meade County Solid Waste and Recycle picks up and signs for a number of prisoners to work in the recycle center and perform litter abatement duties. So they're saying that they are still picking up trash. The Class D felony work program saves the county money each year by allowing jail prisoners to perform any manner of public services which would have to be provided by public funds otherwise. Could you give us an estimate of those savings? My estimate is based upon $8 per man hour of labor and is worth approximately $725,000 a year to the county and city governments. So you want to know how much the slave labor here in Meade County is generating for themselves? It's nearly $1 million worth of free slave labor. And they're trying to say, well, you know, if we weren't doing the slave labor, then we'd be paying someone else to be doing this type of stuff. So we're saving so much money. So it's good, right? We've incentivized to the system to have some criminals so you could throw them into the system and make them slaves. What happens when they get out of the jail? Are they no longer your slaves? Do they even get paid? Do they get paid $1, or do they just get, you know, to go outside for a day? So free labor, right? And that's the 13th Amendment says, you know, slavery is illegal unless you're convicted of a crime. Then you could put slavery on people. So how are the hours tracked? We're required to maintain records of such activities. They report all the work hours to Frankfurt, and it's closely tracked by the Department of Corrections. What about reporting requirements to fiscal court? Some members of the last fiscal court often complained about a lack of communication between you and the court. Why were there no jail committee meetings during 2005, 2006? Teresa Paget was on that committee, and it seemed that she was only interested in defeating me in the election. So Teresa Paget and Troy Seelye doesn't get along. She wasn't interested in information from me. She was only interested in spinning something from nothing. Judge Bill Haynes agreed, given the political atmosphere, the committee meetings didn't serve any purpose. So her performance on fiscal court preventing you from performing your duties as jailer? No, I've always sent my quarterly reports to the fiscal court through our treasurer. Whenever there's real questions, I answer them. But she was a member of the jail committee, and I didn't see it as being productive. Fiscal court unanimously approved the county budget and jail budget, and Paget voted to approve the county budget and the jail's budget, understanding fully the operating capital cost of the jail. It costs money to incarcerate people, and jails are not viewed as profit centers. The detention center is currently working within its budget and has been since I took office. In fairness to former magistrate Teresa Paget, I asked her to respond. She said she assumed Troy Seelye didn't want it revealed that the jail was in fact operating in the red, almost $300,000 a year operational and over $500,000 in capital cost. She says he wouldn't meet because there was almost 700 unused bed days in 2005 and didn't want to answer to the fiscal court while he was operating the jail so far in the red with so many empty bed spaces. She added that there are only 3 county jails in the state with so many unused bed days. So again, you know, they say Teresa Paget just sounds like a total asshole right now. So far, I don't know anything about her. Magistrate Teresa Paget. She's not running for magistrate anymore. But she's sitting there saying that we need to put as many people in the beds because that's how you get money. The more people that you have in the beds at the jail system, that's Frankfurt sends more money. Well, you know, you're not doing any good for the people. You're trapping more people, creating more animals, and it's political. You know, there is a profit incentive here. If you want more money, just like with the school system, you have to get the kids to sit in the seats. They get paid by the amount of people that's in, you know, the schools. Same thing with the jails. So they're only going to give the amount of money to care of the people that's actually in the jail system, and so, you know, there's an incentive to put as many people behind bars in jail to get that money from the state, to get them to work, to get them to enslave other people. I appreciate, you know, Mr. Seelye's honesty, and this is a conventional wisdom. And then when you have someone like Teresa Paget sitting there pressuring him to basically be a Nazi, they want him to be a fascist Nazi. She's sitting there saying that the jail isn't making any money, so how's he going to make some money? Well, you got to arrest some people. You got to start arresting motherfuckers and throwing them in fucking jail. Start arresting and arresting and arresting, and the more people that you can flood with those jails, the better it is for Meade County. That's not the case at all. In fact, you're destroying the society by doing something like that. You're saying that we're not in this thing together, that some people are better than others, and that, you know, there's so much politics actually going around on something such as that. If there's a criminal and they're out hurting people, stop them from hurting people. But if they're not hurting anybody and you're just hurting people, you're putting them in jail and you're beating them up and you're fucking, you know, treating them like shit, I can't stand that type of shit. I can't stand when people are assholes to others for no apparent fucking reason. So does the jail currently have empty bed space? There are 2 distinct areas inside our jail, otherwise known as MCDC, the Meade County Detention Center. One side houses inmates currently being processed by the justice system, and this is known as the county side. The other side houses inmates processed from the state, and the state government pays their operational expenses at a predetermined daily rate. The jailer works to ensure beds on the state side of the MCDC full to the extent possible. There are some circumstances which will allow the jailer to house state prisoners on the county side, but those are the exceptions and not the rule. For the year in which we have complete data, the MCDC made use of over 100% of the beds on the state side. This means there were some state prisoners housed in the county side of the facility as state prisoners come and go. All beds set aside for state inmates are currently being utilized. There's some empty beds on the county side of the facility, but the county does not get paid for housing county inmates. And frankly, you don't want to just fill it up just to fill it up. This ain't a fucking hotel. This ain't a restaurant. You're not trying to make a bunch of fucking money. This is political. And the political says that some people do some bad things and they got to go through the fucking bullshit. You're not trying to make fucking money. You're not trying to do some big thing there. Yeah, you got a budget, operate within your budget, but don't try to, you know what I mean, to incentivize fucking criminality. That's what this shit is. Or to incentivize, you know, malicious prosecution. So, I like his answer. His answer is really good. He's basically saying there's 2 parts to the Meade County Detention Center. You got the county side to the jail, and then you got the you know, the state side. So the state has the inmates, and yeah, keep those beds full if the state has to move the people around. I guess, I don't know. We got so many private prisons here. I don't know why, you know. But if the state needs spot, then they have, you know, overrunning with another spot. Okay, yeah, we'll take your stuff. But to sit there and say that we're going to arrest as much fucking people as we can just to put, you know, some heads into these beds and so they could get some fucking money. Again, it's not a fucking hotel. It's not a place to make money. You're not trying to, you know, make as much profit as you can. All you're doing is you're trying to keep the county safe by keeping the bad people, you know, getting the bad people off the streets, or temporarily, right? So that's the point of a fucking jail. And again, where the fuck is Mayberry? You got these militarized police everywhere. You got SWAT teams, and you got fucking, it looks like Fallujah out here. But where's the Mayberry? Where's the, you know, the Andy Griffish, the sheriffs that go around without a gun and just go around solving people's problems and not trying to criminalize and make fucking, you know, the people, the label, people just make, I don't know. I hate the way people treat other fucking people, okay? That's pretty much it. I think assault is wrong no matter what. It doesn't matter if a person is doing it to another person on the street, or if a person with a uniform is doing it to another person. Assault is wrong, and violence is wrong, and unfortunately, it seems like some people get away with as much violence as they can, and that's acceptable. So our society, American society, has not, that we don't stand up to violence. We don't say violence is wrong. In fact, we defend the oppressors, and we're very obedient. So anyways, yeah, so that's a little bit about Troy Seelye, and it's a little bit about the Meade County candidates for 2014, and I'm going to keep on going with this, okay? So coming up.